Hello, welcome back to Everybody Know. This is Victor Perez. I'm very happy to be here again with you. You're going to notice that there is less light here on the front. I have been trying and struggling just to make it work, but that is the nice things about technology. Like, yeah, computers are just rebelling against ours. Yeah, but I mean, the good thing is like my face is not very interesting in here, so you can for the screenshot and this time I even remember that I have to reduce the resolution so you can see better. So yeah, everything that matters is working now. So welcome back. So I see Javier, Miriam, Manuel, directed to be Anuda. So welcome everybody. So we are streaming live from London today. Yeah, also my audio was like trying to give me a hard time. So as you can see, I don't have the usual microphone, but I have. I hope you can hear me well. Hopefully, can you? Just leave me something in the comments. I mean, seriously, I have been trying to make it work. I don't know what it is. Maybe I just disconnected something or honestly, I don't know. But I hope my sound is good enough for you guys to hear me. So if it's not the case, just let me know so I will try something else. But I'm running out oil. So the sound is not good at all. Hmm. Okay, give me a sec. I'm just going to try again. What's going on? Give me a sec. You know, the things like that. Um, bear with me. Mm-mm-mm. So I'm on it. Let me see.
So still bad. Very deep, distorted voice. Um, sorry about the no the voice, the quality of this sound. Let me try. Let me try something. So, can you guys hear me well? Now it's good. Better. I'm not Arnold. Okay, okay. I did nothing. I mean, it's very hectic, guys. I have no idea. This thing of doing the live until you are live, you don't know what's going on. And today I have a hard time um, with the sound card. So I don't know. Maybe because I'm doing heavy renders right now. I'm using a lot of resources from the computer, so maybe that is influencing the devices. Maybe I'm just using too much electricity from. I have no idea. I love computers, but I'm not an engineer, so when something is broken, it's like. I just call people that is much better than me. So yeah, so can you guys confirm that the voice is good enough for you to follow? So with that, hopefully I can continue. So okay, uh, uh, um, good. So I think everybody. I'm just reading the chat, and yeah, everything is working. So, well, thank you very much for the feedback and for letting me know. It would be really, really disastrous if I just do an hour of streaming. I'm getting also a bit of a cold. Sorry about that. Yeah, everything together because why not? Um. So yeah, good. Thank you, Manuel. Um. Good. So let's continue. But before I continue, as as usual, I would like to thank Foundry for their support in here. And I have to thank you because, by the way, last week we did a streaming about Copycat. I mean, a couple of weeks ago. um it was really really cool because it's now it's one of the most viewed videos from Foundry, so everybody was very eager to watch that and the masterclass, and I got very good feedback from all of you, and you made it possible. So thanks Foundry for for making it possible, and for you to watching it, and all the satisfaction that is, guys, to share everything with you. So thanks, Foundry, for supporting me. And I think we already spent enough time about what's going on. So I think it's now time to start comping. So as you can see, the resolution is great. So at least if you can hear my voice and you can see the screen, we are ready to go. Okay, so that is important. So I'm going to open the latest version of the script. So here you are. It's really cool. I have to say that I really enjoy this shot. So I'm going to save a new version, something like this. Okay, now let's start making this shot alive. Okay, so in order to make it alive, we need to put dynamic things. In order to put dynamic things, we are going to add the most important element on a shot: people. People, films usually are about people doing things, whatever, but they do things. So we are going to put people in here. Before I do that, I'm just going to do something that I forgot to do last week, which is just concealing the rest of the scene. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in here, whatever is at the end. So for that, I'm going to, just for sake of using something we have never used, um, um, I'm going to put a sphere, because I'm going to make the projection of the outside, whatever is going through this corridor. Because we don't have uh, enough definition of that space, I'm just going to do a generic dome. Okay, so I'm going to make a projection over the dome, something like that. But right now, as you can see, it's kind of useless. So I'm going to put this sphere at a radius of something like 10,000. Now, if you make it very, very big, you have this. So can you see that now the frustum, which is, what the projection of the camera, is just slightly the same, it's slightly bigger, as you can see in there, but it's not bigger. It's exactly the same diameter, but the same radius, sorry, from mm, this sphere. So that is not a good idea. So your sphere should be smaller than the frustrum, or the frustrum bigger than the sphere. So in this case, because we don't have much movement, I'm just going to reduce this by that. So I'm just going to make sure the projection is always inside, okay? It's in there. And as I said, I need a dome, not a sphere, because I want the floor to be matching the, the area of the floor. So for doing that, I'm going to convert a sphere into a dome by using, has been ages since I did this the last time. So it's the lookup geo. Lookup geo is just going to modify based on the lookup table. So it's distribution. So oops, let me just go here. Okay. See, I'm just going to distort, see, based on the axis. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the vertical axis, the y, and I'm going to take, if this is the bottom and this is the top, what I want is just to make something like that, maybe something like this, and I'm going to put this at 0.5. I don't remember, completely honest, but I think this is the right way, something like that. And now in here I'm going to say interpolation before constant. Here you are. So this is now there is no natural evolution. I'm just making a constant. Everything is going to be at the mid level, so which is the half of the sphere. See? So now with this, what I have is a dome, assuming the flow is aligned with the grid. Okay. Let's make that to be connected here. So now I'm going to see this. By the way, this is going to be, the projection itself is going to be really, really small. So I don't want to have this sphere hanging around all the time because I don't need it. I just want to put it there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the sphere, I'm going to remove the selective, and I'm going to even remove this in the viewer. I mean, in here in the 3D, because I don't really need it. But it's going to be present in the 3D, as you can see in there. If I remove that, now it's not present, but I just remove the area on the display. So when I'm going to move in here, unless I'm going to select the sphere, and now it's selecting because I'm not clicking. Everything is so big. Let's get mm, mm, mm. Interesting. It shouldn't be selectable because I removed the ability to be selected, but maybe it's because it's open. So I'm going to get rid of that. Seems like can be a bug. Have you guys tried this before? I'm just going to close Nuke and reopen. I just want to make sure maybe it's the regular behavior, just in case. Yeah, it's regular behavior. So it's normal. Well, then the selectable thing is not working. Yeah, it shouldn't allow you. Maybe it's a bug. It shouldn't allow you to select it when you remove that. So Yeah, maybe we just discovered a bug in real time. So let me see if I can just wireframe this. Okay. So in any case, I'm going to be looking through the, yeah. But let me check something. The floor. The floor is actually, let me just double check this because I found that the floor is actually behaving in a very strange way. So it shouldn't make any kind of difference. Let me just double check. So yeah, this is linear and is everything in there. So what I'm going to do, oh, here you are. Here you are. This is being selectable. Now, nothing changed. Okay. Okay. Yeah, you shouldn't be selectable. I mean, seriously, what else? This is now becoming personal. The thing of how to select this. Well, again, I was mentioning the question of the flow. So if I put this like texture, see that is shifting, and it shouldn't. See? Oh, because the sphere is not on the ground plane. Interesting. Things are getting really interesting. So let's have a look. So this is the set. This is at 0.5. Yeah. But the dome is not at 0.5. Very interesting. Why? Well, let me see. In theory, this should be in there, unless something is dealing, but spheres have the center really in the center of the diameter. And the cars, see, let me have a look at the right side. See, it's not sitting at 0.0. It should be this line, which is the floor of the dome, should be sitting in there because this is the 0.5. In here, maybe I'm just going to make test. See, if you make it bigger, it's not going to make any difference. This is not going to make any difference. So something happened in there. What? I don't know. We can discover, but I think we have more important things to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to transform geo. And I'm just going to make sure this goes there. I'm just going to put it below. And look at this. It's exactly this measure, 0.05. Interesting, which is the distance from the side. So for some reason, there is an offset in there. So now I know that it's mathematically accurate, that is in the center. okay, this is the is something related to the pivot, but it should be at 0.5. Anyway, it's done. It's in there. We are all happy. The important thing is it's working. So yeah, we just learned that there is an offset in there. Now the floor is not changing. The only thing that is changing is that thing there. So if I move my camera, see, I'm going to have some sort of parallax with that column. Then of course I'm going to have also that that wall is being projected. You remember how to fix it. So let me just see how is the best way to the fastest. Yeah, is this one. So I'm just going to do another projection. So this is going to be here. This is here. This, and this is going to be here. So the only thing that I'm going to do is just to recover a bit of that by painting. So all frames. I'm assuming you guys can hear me well, okay? If not, please tell me. Don't leave me alone. Yeah. As I said, I'm not very invested in nailing the quality of, you know, there should be enough. So someone asked me, Kissing, uh, how do you feel about Autodesk Flame? Well, I guess it's really cool because many people use it. So I have no experience at all with Flame. I know it's very popular for commercials. Um, I guess it's cool. It used to be really expensive. Not anymore. I guess the competition is good for everybody, especially for consumers. Um, yeah, nothing to say about it. So, yeah, I just prefer Nuke. And I can even tell you, it used to be, I prefer Nuke because it's cheaper. So, yeah. So that is the level. I remember Flame many years ago. By the price of Flame, you can buy an apartment. Not kidding. Not now. Now is like other times. But yeah, it used to be uh, really, really expensive and with a machine dedicated. So yeah, now things have changed a lot. The market has changed a lot. So what's going on in here? Let me check. I guess there are two surfaces that are doing crazy things. Yeah. Oh, Hugo is here. Hey, man. So yeah, Hugo said each flame costs over 2,000. Sorry, over 200,000. Yeah, that was the price. As I said, you can buy an apartment by the price of a of a flame. Of course, I can also say that a flame artist in that time was the king of the mambo. So, yeah, it was all the times also for the prices of artists. Now everything has been more normalized, normalized down, of course. So, but yeah, it was really, really interesting to see those times. So let me just double check. Oh, I just used the sharpen. I just have too many windows. This and this. I'm going to use the smear. I like to use the smear for this kind of. The smear is so underrated. It's so cool. You can do so many things, dirty things. Yeah, I love to do this kind of things. Smearing the, yeah. So let me see what's going on now. Yeah, that thing looks like a double projection. So I'm going to do something. I'm going to make this lower. Yeah, as I suspected. When you have two planes at the same level, it's just Nuke doesn't know which one is the good one. So yeah, it's going to look weird. You just need to separate them a bit. That is good enough. Now this is making me think that even that floor, so this one, the painting here, I'm just going to paint a bit more. This exercise is super cool. Okay. Yeah, I agree. Flame and Nuke, they have many things in common. Oh, things in here are not working for all flames. Now they do. Yeah, I mean, it's a novel compositor, flame, so it's a very different animal from, for instance, After Effects. After Effects is truly a very different software because it's not nodal based. But mm, yeah, Flame, yeah, of course they are different. It's powerful from different things. I have to say that I love all softwares because at the end, even if I love Nuke like a lot, and I really believe it's the best software for compositing, but at the end, it's all up to the artist. It's not about the software. So it's not like what is it's the same thing that when you see a photographer that is good, it's not the camera, it's the photographer. So it's the thing is like, yeah, there are photographers that prefer Nikon, other photographers that prefer Canon, other photographers Hasselblad. So whatever is just like, if you're a good photographer, even with a box of cookies, you can build a good camera and make interesting pictures. By the way, you can build a camera with a box of cookies. Just search pinhole camera and you will see. I did it when I was at film school. And of course, developed the thing. So here you are. We have now, everything is working. Es el indio y no la flecha. Yeah, it's the Indian, not the arrow. So, okay, this is working. Everything makes sense in here. And we have also the background. So, as I said, we have to add people. So I'm going to grab, I promise that I'm going to use elements. Also, I promise that I was going to use those elements that I have in here. So it's just, yeah, it's opening. So I have plenty of elements in here, but like a lot. Okay. So the DAS Elements is a very simple software. It's just a library that is just going to, catalog. It's going to help you catalog, and then it's going to help you find whatever you need. So it's very simple. You just go to this tab. I mean, Jonas has an amazing tutorial online how to use this. So I have I already started doing the synchro. I mean, the ingestion of this. So it requires a bit of time, of course, because I'm just adding something yeah, over 6,000 elements, and there are all formats out there, even camera formats and DNGs, and well, it's super cool because those elements can even transcode and create previs for, I mean, revisualization thumbnails, video thumbnails for that, and it's really cool because you can just go into the settings, and you have this thing that I love, which is auto tagging. So it's just using AI, well, machine learning, in order to recognize what is in the frame, and it's amazing because at the end of the day, the elements, most of them are quite common. So explosions, dust, or smoke, or fire, or so in here you have different categories, and it's just, I mean, it's just building up. You can help and add more, so you can manually check, but this is just going to help you a lot. And then it's a library, so it's just where do you want your library, and it's also using the different path settings for depending on what is the OS that you are using. So it's really 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 cool. Because it's just taking time, because it needs to go through all the elements, create the thumbnails and all of that. I'm not going to do it live in here, but I'm just going to do it outside the streaming, and I'm going to share with you the library so you can see the results. You can even lock the library, so if you are sharing the library with the studio, so it's just going to be safe, so nobody is going to break the thing. So have a look, guys. Have a look at the dust elements. It's really easy to find. I'm going to, let me just go here. It's just dust elements. There you go. It's really easy. So in here you have, you have in the support, you have video tutorials. Wow, I have advertising inside the video. So not outside. Yeah, here you are. So you have the tutorial, and it's really really easy. So you have the example of the library. So as you can see, I mean, just go here. I'm not going to show you the video. It's not in my interest just to show you this, but it's it's just to show you that it's really really easy. Okay, so have a look at those elements, because we are going to use a lot of elements. So I'm just going to remove this. I promise I will create the library. It's just it requires me just to put also all the elements in here, and I have elements here and there, so I have to put them in a place that I can access. Okay, so Yeah, and by the way, maybe you have seen me with a t-shirt or with a hoodie of a color checker. I love color, so I have a color checker. Well, that hoodie is from Jonas, the VFX shop. So the same guy that created Das Elements also has this very cool shop of things related to visual effects, like tracking markers, and things that are not like things that you need for the set, but they are super cool, like the t-shirts with the color checkers, with other things, with other names. So it has also the one with the normals, the normal map. It's just super cool. So have a look. It's the VFX shop online. So yeah, let's leave aside that and let's go for the elements. And for the elements, I'm going to the king of elements. I'm going to Action VFX. actionvfx.com. Okay. So in here you have all the elements you may want and may need and way more. It's just super cool. And they keep adding. Since the last time I have that streaming, they have like more elements now. So yeah, very, very recommended. I'm using this one for the film that I am supervising right now. I cannot show you anything, but I can tell you that I'm using the ocean waves and it's super cool. It's just super cool what you can see. The trees also are super helpful. Let me see, because in here there are like business people. So maybe we can have business people going into that place. So let's see. Let's just go to this business extras. Here you are. So let's see what you have in here. So you have people standing. It's super cool because also they give you also the names standing. Um, Let me see. Walking. I'm sure there is people walking. Maybe not in this package. I don't remember. That is why having those elements already, the elements in here imported, you just say walking and then you go directly to that. And it's going to show you every element that has the keyword walking. And the people at Action VFX, they are super cool because they are also putting in the name, the description, so that helps a lot. So here you are, walking people. You have this guy coming here, this lady. Let me see if I have. Yeah, she's coming. So I'm going to use this just to show you that people working towards camera is just directly related to the lenses you are using. So if you have like this lady coming actually from the camera to the camera, sorry, you are going to feel maybe it's not going to match the perspective. So that's why I mean, I love Action VFX because they know very well how to not just to how to create, but how to use it. So when they are shooting, they are keeping this in mind. So you have the element of the girl moving, and also on the spot. So it's like on a treadmill or something like that. So you can animate the card yourself just to make sure the feet are going to be on the ground. So I'm going to use that. So let me see if I have another element. I have that. Eye level. I like this element. And I guess you have also the version standing, I mean, walking on the same place. Good, so I'm going to use this one. What is the resolution that I need? Honestly, 2K is going to be more than enough. And this is a ProRes with the alpha channel. I love you guys. I love action effects, VFX. So really, having the alpha already, that is a luxury. I mean, I don't even need to key something that when you have plenty of people is kind of, yeah, boring, really, really boring. So yeah, where I'm going to save this, I'm going to put it here. Yeah, let's put it here. Okay, it's done. Now I'm going to see the trees. The trees are super, super cool. So you have this, and you have also this. And this is the one that I'm going to use. Okay, so I'm going to leave that here. We are going to use more elements, so no worries. Now let's put this on the right color space. Is asking for, this is the way of calling in OpenColor.io, so I'm just going to use this. Just double checking the alpha when you are unsure of the color space or any transformations. Just make sure the alpha is always 1 when it's white, I mean when it's opaque, and 0 when it's transparent. So that is going to be a good start. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to use a separate structure for for the people, the crowd, the elements. Okay, even if I'm going to share, and I'm going to show you something that is super, super cool. I'm going to use now. Well, let me crop this. I'm not going to need the whole element. So crop is just to manage the size of the card. Just going to make sure. Reformat. So she's always inside. Yeah. So now card. Here you are. And now I'm going to put the card on the feet. So let's move the pivot point to the feet, not to the lower part of the card, just to be clear. I'm going to put it on the feet, and you will see why. First of all, it's because I'm going to do look up. So I'm going to make sure the element is going to look at the camera, just in order to prevent, to see the two-dimensional nature of that. So now this is going to be here. If you are unsure, just go to the front and just make sure this is in there. I mean, don't stress too much, because the position that I put the feet is just merely coincidental. Okay, so I'm going to put it like that. So look at what I'm going to do. I'm going to have a scene now. This is something that I love to do when I'm working with 3D elements. That I have I mean, you saw it already. If you saw the previous videos, especially with the one of the Iron Man, you saw that I love to have like a preview status. So, okay, thank you very much. It has been a pleasure being with you today. Yeah, Nuke crash. Yeah, very strange. Never happened. Nuke never crashes. Yeah, never. Of course. It crashes like any other software in the world. But God save the autosave. Yeah. Here you are. Up and running. Scene, as I said, I'm going to create a scene that is just going to be a preview. So I'm going to put this lady in here. Right now it's going to be super tiny. I'm going to save. Let me see if, no, it's okay. Now, oops, I'm just going to make sure she's on the floor. So yeah, yeah, that is the size. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the size of the door in there. Yeah, it's near. So now I'm just going to scale up. Now she's really tall. Something like this. I guess. Okay. Now, what I wanted to say is like, let's put the girl in there. So it's behind this corridor, okay? So in here, I have my render without the girl. Now in here, I'm just going to make, you know, same thing. I'm just going to scanline render the camera in here. So now in here, I have the girl. Look what happened. I mean, this is just in case you didn't know. It's just something that I really love, which is every every scanline render by default and for free is just giving you deep. So this data is deep. This data has also deep. So I'm just going to put this and that, and Nuke understands where that girl is in the space, in the 3D space. So it's just going to overlap whatever is necessary. So I'm just going to make those edges better. So I'm anti-alias. Here you are. I don't need the anti-alias in here because she's not touching any edges of the geometry. Remember that. I mean, projections. I mean, the anti-alias is for the edges of the geometry, but a projection shouldn't touch the edge of that. So that's why I'm not going to do that. And I'm going to do it because I want also to add reflections, a bit, some sort of reflections in there. So as I said, I'm going to render the girl separately from the environment because I want to process the environment. So I'm going to make this girl in here. And I'm going to make sure, and this is going to be the tricky part, I want to make sure she's going to move with the right, the right position of the feet. But before that, what I want to show you is why I was talking about the importance of the lookup. So if I put my element in here, it's a 2D element, remember? So if I see this, and I keep coming closer to the camera, at a certain point, it may happen that you see a bit of the 2D nature of this element. So when you are far, it's not a problem, but when you are close, you are going to start seeing the distortion. So for that, you can use the look at. Okay, so I'm going to use it just for the sake of having fun, because really in here is not going to be that evident, but you are going to see the difference. So I'm going to add a transform geo, because you need a transform geo for that. This, and now the look must be to the camera. Exactly. This is what happens if you move the card instead of the transform geo. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to transfer the information that you have in the translation in here. So copy values into an axis, copy, paste value, and now I'm going to remove in here, so set to default, and this axis is going to be there. So now the thing is, like, if you move the axis, the girl is always going to be looking at the camera. I'm just going to remove for a second. Let me just show you. See the perspective shift. So with the look to the camera, the proportion of the element is always going to be perfectly, because the element was shot in front of the camera as a whole element, so without any kind of distortion. So what I'm doing in here is just removing that perspective shift from spacing the car in a different way. The only thing that you require is the pivot point to be in the center of the transformation, because this is going to be the area that is going to be maintained. So when you shift, when you remove the look, this is going to be the point of rotation. Okay, so I like to use the feet. So when I am moving the structure, is always going to be the feet is going to be the area that is going to stay. So let me just double checking here that the axis is going to be on the right place. So I guess I don't need that. Well, yeah, I need that as well. But can I move this? Of course. I'm going to put it there. Okay, now it's time to animate that. So how can I animate that? Well, you can go any way that works. The important is, like, every foot that is resting on the floor cannot move. So you need to move the axis in a way that is not going to make it slippery. Okay, so let's try something. You can even go with an expression just to calculate a constant speed. So we are going to play with all of that. So in order to play, I'm still maintaining the original position. I'm just going to concatenate accesses, access. You said that the plural of axis is access. Okay, so yeah, and if not, you are welcome for my collaboration and contribution to the English dictionary. So yeah, access. What I'm going to do is I'm going to look from the camera, because it's the only real angle that you can look for this to work. So this element, now I'm going to connect this thing. So I'm just going to create a scene. And now I'm going to put this thing. Okay. Okay. I'm just going to make sure. Okay. Here you are. For instance, another thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the projectors. I don't want to see the projector, so I'm going to remove the wireframe of the projector. And this too. Yeah. So now all the projectors are gone. The only one that I have is this one, that is my camera. Okay, so I'm looking from my camera, which is camera one. Here you are. Now I don't have distractions for this, which is much better. So this axis is just going to contain an expression to move towards the camera, because my scene has been aligned correctly. The axis towards the camera is just going to be the positive side. So let's create, a very simple expression. Frame. Okay. Goodbye. Has been a pleasure. So the thing is like, okay, as you can see, it's slippery a lot, like a lot. So I'm just going to make sure, first of all, she's always above the floor. So on my original axis, I'm just going to put it there. I'm going to move it here, just to be more centered. And now in here, see, it's slippery. So frame is just going to write in here whatever is the frame, but it's really, really fast. So instead, we are going to divide. Frame divided by, and this is the factor to slow down. So let's put like 30. Let's see. No, it's too slow. See? So let's slow down by 20. No, still slow. 10. Slow. Of course, everything in here is just relative to the scale of the project. So let's see, 5. See how boring it is going with numbers? So let's do it cool. And to do it cool, let's use expressions and knobs. So I'm going to create in here, in this axis, I'm going to create a floating point slider. So I'm going to call this the speed factor. Factor. So speed factor. And it's going to be from 0 to, I don't know, 4. It's kind of a standard. Many floating point sliders knobs go from 0 to 4. And in here, the user, I never like to leave it like that. So it's going to be like settings, for instance. Okay, settings, speed factor. Let's put 3. And now I'm going here, edit expressions. And instead of putting one number, I'm just going to put speed factor. So I'm going to put this to play. She's sleeping a lot. Let's increase the speed. It's a bit moonwalker in there. It's a bit slippery. Okay. Oh, the speed factor. I forgot. This is the slow down factor. So I'm just going to change the, because yeah, I was feeling like the higher the number, the lower is the speed. So edit expression. And instead of dividing, I'm going to multiply. Yikes, super fast. So let's go to 0.5. Let's see. No, it's super fast. Imagine doing this manually. Of course you can. She looks very big to me, but that is not going to be a problem because now I can just something like that. So of course in the original it was facing the camera, so yeah, there is some sort of distortion, and that distortion, let me see if is given by the look. No, the look is not creating an issue. Yeah. So what we can do is just to compensate. So I'm going to add a alignment factor. So floating alignment factor. Alignment factor. Trust me, use always the same naming convention. So spaces, for instance, for the knobs, use spaces, and instead of spaces in the name, use underscore. It's a good practice to keep everything with the same logic. So the factor of 1 in here. Now, it's moving on the side. So yeah. So I'm going to add in here, add expression, frame times alignment factor. See you tomorrow. It has been a real pleasure. Now she's really far. Now, here you are. So now, with 0, there is no alignment. Now, let's put this to play. Let's see if we can find, yeah, Michael Jackson. Yeah, if I put the factor to the other side, it's going, of course. And this is more like it. Yeah, speed factor is slightly. I think this is working quite well. Just going to align. But this is the thing, it's like I'm just trying to do something procedural. Now, here you are. It's perfect. Perfectly matched. See? Everything is now aligned. Of course, she's working towards the camera, so it needs to work towards the camera. Because if not, you are going to have the slippery thing. Okay, so that's why you have different angles for the people. So that is all normal. Yeah, this is very cool. Now, if I want to render this, I do this render, and I can do this render too. So when I put them together, yeah, and it's rendering, as you can see, it's rendering quite fast. 2.5 frames per second, which is it's really good. Yeah, yeah, it's working. For some reason, she looks big, but that is not a problem. And because everything has been scaled from the feet, everything is still in the right place. See? Now, the reflections, because this is something really, really cool. If I want to do the reflections, it's just as simple as putting the car upside down. So let me just copy this. So this is going to look there. And now, remember where is the point of this? It's in the feet, the lowest part of that. So I'm going to rotate 180. Here you are. And of course, now the back is inverted. Well, that is not a problem. Mirror. Of course. After the grow. This may need slightly adjustments for the position in the center, but that is going to be really, really fast. Let me just grab that. So here and there. Yeah, it's pretty much in the right place. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put, of course, my reflection in a different place. So I'm going to put this in here, this in here. Of course, the camera is always the same. And I'm using the logic of the reflection, which is, perpendicular. So with this, I have that. Now, the thing is like, a reflection, when you are closer to the surface of the reflection, you are going to have less diffusion because all the rays are going to be closer to the surface or less possibility of scattering and stuff. So how can I simulate that without just creating animated? So we need to go to the source. Always, when you want to apply something that needs to be recording for the reflection, go to the original before the reflection happening, so before it gets upside down. So in here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply something very silly, a ramp. And a ramp that is going from here to there. Okay, I'm just going to make sure, yeah, they are both at 100. And I'm going to put this on a new layer. So I'm going to use, for instance, the forward, or you can use the depth. I'm just going to use the forward. Okay. Now, everything that is coming out of the scanline render has also that pass. So if I'm going here to forward, I see this that I was not expecting. Give me a sec. Of course, because I'm using something that the forward is a pass that is already there. Sorry about that. I'm going to use the mask. The mask is not a pass to be expected. So the mask here you are, and now the masking here exactly. So it's going to preserve that mapping in there. So what I can do is in here, I can apply set defocus, which is what I want to do is something similar to the eye blur. Okay, so there is a node out there that is called eye blur. It's the same thing. I just want to get more diffusion depending on what is the level of that pass. So I'm going to use RGBA. So the depth channel is going to be the mask. Phi is going to be 1. So you can see the farther you are from the feet, the more defocus you are getting. So I'm just going to make those two the same. So I can just go here like 25. See? Now you are getting more diffusion the farther you are from there. Not only, I'm going to apply something else. I'm going to apply absorption of light. So you are going to have less silhouette or less reflection the farther you go from there. So great. Multiply, and the mask is going to be this one. See? Now, if you want to modulate the focus and the amount of distortion, I mean the the absorption of light, I'm just putting here a grade. I love to use the grade. It's just so simple. It's a matte. So, ladies and gentlemen, every time you are grading a matte, black clamp and white clamp, because a matte, by definition, are values between 0 and 1, normalized, nothing above or below. So, and just with the gamma, you can change the distribution, okay? Or just with white point and black point, you can just play with the values. See? If you want to preserve, yeah, there you go. I think I'm just going over the top with the amount of the focus. So let me just put something less. Something like that. Good. So now it's time to add the reflection. Where I'm going to add this reflection? Well, let's leave this aside for a second. I'm going to add the reflection here. And how? A reflection is a component of light. So if it's a component of light, there is only one, the plus. But because it's not a real component of this light, sometimes you are going to need to retouch things. So this is the reflection. So before, what you should do is just to remove the previous reflection. If you have reflections of something behind, you need to neutralize that. So I'm going to propose something. Not always works, but in here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this to neutralize whatever is behind. So I'm going to use the blur. the most important note in history of cinema. See, you are getting rid of the detail behind, but be very careful because maybe you are getting rid also of the detail you need. So instead of using a blur, you can use a blur with other parameters, which is the soften. The soften is a blur with limitations of minimum and maximum. Well, you have other things, but this is like the amount and it's like the mix. So I'm just going to do something. I'm going to apply, see? I'm going to apply that, but I want to apply this on the bright areas. So I'm going to put this at full. Now it's behaving as a blur. This is exactly like a blur. So what I want to do is I'm going to reduce the light. So I'm going to make it very, very visible so you can see that. What I want is to remove that bright area and still preserve the blurriness in the dark area. So for doing that, you just need to go with this. See? Okay. I mean, the reflections right now are really, really small, so it's going to be quite tricky to grasp them. But just for you to get the concept. Okay, something like that. And now, on top, of course, the element without the reflection. Okay? Now, as you can see in here, maybe the reflection is not looking great because, of course, it's very bright. So it shouldn't be like that bright. So I'm going to grade it. So let's grade it here. See? Then I'm still applying this blur. Now let's make soften. Okay. Something like that. I mean, it's really subtle right now, but good enough. Are you guys there? So if you are, don't forget to subscribe. By the way, remember, I still have, because I'm talking about light and stuff, and just remember that you still have the Master of Light available with the 50% discount. One day, this discount will not be anymore, and you will cry because this is the best course I ever done. So I'm very proud of this, and I would love if you have a look. Um, so yeah, this is mainly the Master of Light, but if you want something more personal, I have also one-on-one, so you can just get me to advise you or whatever you like. So this is now missing the most important part of all. So I'm going to optimize. First of all, I don't like to use twice the same element, so I'm going to get rid of that. And now I'm going to apply in here the color correction. Then I'm going to do something temp. So just to make sure the temperature should be like greenish. So give me a sec because I have the panel in the other window. Yeah, that is the problem of having small. I mean, the resolution is just, I'm not used to that. So let's make her slightly greenish and darker. Of course, in order to do this well, we need to match the contrast and everything else. But right now, for the time being, I just want to make sure this element works. Maybe the contrast. I'm just doing something quick, okay? Just for yeah, something. I mean, something like that. Is something quick. And on the next streaming, I'm going to do something for integration of the lights. The nice thing, and I wanted to keep this in here, is like the reflection is working with her. I remember a shot, the first shot that I used this. I mean, the first time that I remember, it was for Rogue One, establishing shots that it has like the one of the temples of Yavin 4, and you have like puddles of water and people walking, and the people were elements like this were shot on the, of course, on set, but were the same element. And that was working really well when I needed to get the reflection of the elements on the paddles, and that created that real nice feeling that it is integrated. Sometimes you need just these kind of things for making great integrations. It's just trying to understand. Then things that are missing in here are contact shadows, for instance. So we are going to do something for that contact shadows and procedural. Of course, procedural. I don't like to use my hands much in order to match things. So I prefer the computer to do things, like the factor, the speed factor, or something like that. So I think, yeah, another thing that I think is going to be cool is to add the distortion of the pavement, just to create that the lines of distortion. So how to lay out distortion to align with the pattern of the wall. That is something that is going to be really cool, and it's really easy. I'm just going to leave it here because, of course, I'm not going to remember this. So I'm going to use the basics. So this is going to be like coming soon, coming on the next previous, and the next I'm going to do previously on the previous episode. So card and without image, and I'm going to have noise, some noise connected to the card, and then it's going to be in here reformat, because I want to make sure this is going to be square, and this is going to be red, and this is going to be green. So of course now they are the same, but I'm going to change that. So with this, that is going to be on the floor like that. I'm just going to make it big enough. And this is going to be the base for the distortion. Okay, so I'm going to put it here. And I'm going to make a note for myself. Something that is going to be 10. That is like next reflection distortion. Here you are. So I just put this, and we are sure next week I'm going to apply that to this reflection. Okay. So yeah, let me save in there. Um, so what else? Thank you very much, and also thank you for the patience and for letting me know that the sound wasn't great in the beginning. And sorry, I apologize for that. And just as I told you, don't prepare the stream, because if I prepare the stream, it will defeat the purpose. I'm just going to play how I will approach this. It's the same thing. When I'm working, I'm doing the same terminology, the same approach, the same thing. It's like you play with what you have. And this is the most important part, is just to get it done. So whatever you can. I hope that by sharing what I have in here is you can find ideas or stimulation for and trying things. I love to try things. Even during the streaming, I'm always trying something in a way I never tried before, because as an artist I need to be stimulated. I cannot do things in the way I know, because if not, it will be being an artist will be boring and repetitive. That is not what I signed for. So yeah. Just write in the comments if you want to see something particular for these shots or whatever. I'm here for you guys, and I just want to make sure we are going to have fun and to keep comping this. So maybe in the next streaming we can just do more crazy things and apply things that are not possible, or water in there or whatever. This is just to have fun. But I'm starting from an approach that is photoreal, and then we can evolve into the non-realistic stuff or surrealistic stuff. But reality is the base to start. The rest is up to you. Okay, so this has been Victor Perez for Note by Note. Have a great week. Be good, not too much because it's boring. And I see you next Tuesday at 7 GMT. Thanks for watching. Take care.